Hi, it's Richard here. So I've been asked to give my feedback or some feedback on the tutorials so far to try to help everyone develop them, which I'm happy to do. So I've picked out a few tutorials just almost at random because there's some fairly common themes. Now, I'm not the final authority on this. In fact, no one is. You know, there's 100 different ways you can create a tutorial, but you need to follow the template, obviously. My main feedback will be the question, is your tutorial painting a picture in the mind of the reader or the viewer? A clear picture. So if I'm reading your tutorial, is it really clear? Is it really obvious to me exactly what I'd have to do to implement this? Or am I having to think hard and interpret and try to analyze and guess what it is that I have to do? So it needs to be simple and explicit in terms of what it looks like in the classroom. Now, I will also say a picture paints 1,000 words, and that's why it'd be really great to have images in there. So, you know, it just makes such a difference if you can have a few images of what this looks like in action, and especially if there can be some video footage. Not essential, but a really good idea. The other thing that's missing, and you know, you don't have to do this, but if you just stand in front of someone who's got your camera and just do a 30-second intro, hey, this is Richard, here's my blah blah tutorial, I'm excited about this because, you know, so you just give a little verbal explainer, it can really go a long way. So then I've watched 30 seconds or a minute of this intro, now I've already got a picture in my mind about what this looks like, so now it's a lot easier to gain a sense of what your tutorial is trying to suggest. Again, it's not essential, but that would be a great way to go. So let's get into it. Can I say, so far, it looks pretty cool. So there's a bit there. So I think I got 6. So the first one was AI and creative writing from Carla. Now, I already had started to look at this yesterday, and then I got waylaid. So this originally was down here somewhere, I think, because this looks like a subtitle. So Carla, that's why it's up here now. It used to be down the bottom. Now, one thing I will say, with the tagging thing, I didn't realize that the tags don't work. What's happened is, first of all, I was using special characters so I can group these tags. So these were all the PLC tags, and then these single asterisks, they're the year level tags, and then the rest don't need tags, right? But for various reasons, it doesn't work anymore. It used to work, and that's why I did it, but I didn't realize that I'd changed it. And so Lorenz is very apologetic to me, but they're about a week or two away from upgrading this, and so there'll be a better way to group tags. So we'll fix that within the next week or two. It's pretty straightforward. Just choose the tags that are appropriate. All right. So that explains why hardly anyone's got any tags. I didn't realize that before. So name, PLC group, AI, yep. Duration 40 minutes. So I've deleted the thing underneath here because we don't need the other notes. You know, that's either a full lesson or part lesson, but 40 minutes is good. Grade level 10. All right. Have you finished selecting the appropriate tags yet? Well, I should put edit on, shouldn't I? I would just put no for now because we haven't, because you can't. But so the managers know that you haven't finished doing the tags yet. Overview video. Well, again, that would be ideal, but you haven't got one at the moment. So here's a tiny little thing. So what you've got, see, all of this here is a heading 2, and it will be a heading 2 if it's all on the same line. So you want the text to be just text, all right? And you can have a heading as a heading. So that's the idea. I'm not going to comment on whether that's a good answer to this question, but I think you should all give each other feedback on that. So that's as far as you've got, all right, which is fair enough. But make sure the step-by-step instructions are easy to read. And again, you're trying to paint a picture in the mind of the reader so as it's really obvious that they know what they're doing with this tutorial. So that's that one. Next one. All this looks good. So duration, 1 double period. So we can delete that, right? We don't need that bit. That's my prompt. So once you've dealt with the prompt, you don't need the prompt, right? So duration is 1 double period. That's great. The grade is MYP grade 9, so we don't need that. Have you finished selecting the appropriate tags? Well, no, you haven't, because you can't. And we don't need that anymore. Why is this an excellent strategy to use? I use the strategy to guide students on how I do in the classroom and to experiment with students So that doesn't really answer the question, but you're sort of saying why you did it. Anyway, up to you. Again, I'm not the authority on whether these are good or not. Step-by-step instructions. I'm not going to comment on this. Is this enough detail? Does it paint a clear picture in the mind of the reader? Is someone going to go, right, now I know exactly what to do, or are there gaps? And I'm going to ask the questions. I'm not going to answer them for you. I think you should all sort of give each other feedback, perhaps in your PLC groups, without being too harsh on each other. But that's the question. Is it easy to follow? Important background thinking. So all of this is, it's good, but it's up to you guys to work out whether this needs to be improved or not. Next one, building fluency, practice and retrieval. So again, right, it's 30 minutes, so we know it's a part lesson. We know it's MYP. And we don't have, so that's the last one I'll do. This is the last time I'll do those things there. Now, I had a quick look at this video. The video this is more like theory. I would say this video is theory, and it's obviously, I think it's from the web, isn't it? Which is fine, but it doesn't explain the strategy, I don't think. I mean, I haven't had a good look at it. So that's the question. Should this be said, look, here's a bit of theory to watch first, and then the actual strategy is below? I did have a closer look at this, and I didn't think this was particularly clear as to the step-by-step instructions. But again, it was a fast read. So again, that's the question for you guys. Is this, when I go through this, I mean, what I would do is space this out. Whoops. Just so as it's easy to follow and easy to read. But again, I'm not going to be the authority as to whether or not this is super clear, because you don't want teachers to have to really think hard about what you've written down. Important background thinking, blah, blah, blah. So look, lots of content there. Great start. Again, I'm not the judge of the quality of this. I think that's up to you guys, but great start, pretty, and you can probably tweak that. Critical thinking on lab reports. So again, you delete these things. MYP, I don't know what MLE, multi-lesson. I don't like acronyms. What does that mean? Multi-lesson? What's the E? Don't know. This is just a minor thing. I think that looks like heading, it's large text. Okay. Well, look, you don't have to do this, but why not, use I wouldn't bold it. If you want to use large text, you can. The only drawback with large text is the bullets don't work. But if you want to use large text, that's fine. So is that a good answer to why is this an excellent strategy to use? Because if I'm reading this, I want to know why this is next. Why should I do this? Like, why is it good? That's what I want to know. Step-by-step instructions. Looks pretty good, but again, I'm not going to judge it myself. Up to you guys. Is it clear? Is it really obvious? Is it confusing? You've obviously copy-pasted from down here to up there, and this is what happens. It leaves all the bullets behind, so there's no way around this other than just doing that. So I'm not going to do it all, but that's what you've got to do, unfortunately. Each web editor has its own quirks. Trust me, they're all a bit quirky, and this one's no different. And so you've got some extra stuff to do there. All right, but that's certainly well on the way. Gamified learning, how I turn my classroom into a healthy competition. So you've changed all the text into just normal text, but you still need you need headings. So that's how you get your headings, down here. All right. Now, but you don't want to do that. Oh gosh. And you need a gap between the heading and the text to see the difference. Maybe that's what you have problems with. So tutorial under construction. My name. So let's see what happens there. Yes, right. So now duration, right. So if you go enter, then you can create that as a heading without it all changing. That might be a little issue. So duration, ongoing, all right, great. So you can just go through this yourselves. I've now paused the video and I've worked on this one. So this one was a really messy one. So we've now got subheadings and text. So with the step-by-step instructions, I would leave it like that because it's easy to read, and then the points, the numbers are very clear. So I like the detail here. I think this is looking pretty good actually. Important background thinking, that's good. Things to get right. There's a lot of information here. So there's a lot of this this is not a criticism. I'm saying there's a lot of detail here which is kind of equivalent to the step-by-step instructions, which is good. I also like this bit. So who are we talking to here? Gabriel. So she's also, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's a male or female. Anyway, this person has given some extra insight into the readers of this tutorial. It's some more background information and extra comments, which is even more background information. So there's a lot of passion in this, which is fantastic. So that's what it looks like now that I've tidied it up a little bit and I've got rid of all those dead bullets. A couple of things I'll show you though. So the other point I was going to make is that it would just be really good to see some images in here, like celebrate small wins. The leaderboard, just to have an image of a picture of the leaderboard would be great. Different little images of this in action would make a heck of a difference. It just really would bring it to life. So, just examples of kids working, even examples of kids talking about why they like this. It's fantastic. So that's a really good one, but I've just tidied that up. I thought I'd show you. So, quick summary is fantastic start. Keep thinking, how can I make this as clear as possible? And give each other some feedback in terms of the clarity, how easy each one is to follow, things like that. So hopefully that's helped a little bit at least. And all the best. We'll stay in touch. Cheers.